Deb Cooper with the Canine Chronicle, bringing you a Table Talk Live update from Saturday's beautiful Kennel Club of Palm Springs in sunny Indio, California. And they let anybody into this dog show, clearly. I'm here with Phil Booth. Hi, Phil.
Hi. How are
Welcome.
You? Good.
Thanks for stopping by to chat.
Anytime.
So, you're here basically as a spectator.
Yeah, I'm a spectator, support human, whatever you want to call me. Walking
Emotional
around.
support human? Fantastic.
Right.
So, you've retired.
Yep.
And the sport, which you've been a part of for how long?
1984, I purchased my first purebred dog.
And that was what?
Gordon Setter.
Okay, so that's 40 years.
Shh, don't tell no one.
40 years.
Right.
In the sport. How has the sport changed?
Oh my God. Just like everything else in the world, a lot. You know, I can remember starting and packing up and going to a different location every day.
Right.
Saturday and Sunday.
Oh yeah, we were good about that in Ohio.
Right.
Right.
Now you have these lovely circuits like this that have beautiful venues, and it's just grown would be the best way.
So you are applying for your judge's license now.
Starting the process, yes, ma'am.
And what do you think is like the top thing that you're looking forward to in your judging career?
Well, I think that I will apply the same thoughts and kind of view of judging as I did to showing dogs. Fortunately, I did something that I loved professionally for 30 years, but started 40 years. I love the dogs, and I always said to myself that if I stopped having fun or if it stopped being enjoyable, I'd stop doing it. And that never happened. It was just time. And I like to think that I'll apply that same logic or same mindset to judging, just a different area of the sport.
Right.
That as long as I'm having fun and enjoying it and think that I have something to offer, you know, I do it.
So as you now look at 40 years of the sport, and now you have the opportunity to kind of just take it all in, what do you think, what are your top 1, 2, or 3 breeds that you think are in the best shape now?
Oh, wow. Well, obviously, most of my background and experiences with sporting dogs. We did other things, Giants and Dalmatians and Smooths and some of these other things.
Wolfhounds,
Australian Shepherds, yeah, lots. So anyway, Papillons. So anyway, I'd like to answer that with sporting dogs, because that's obviously my biggest background. And like any other breed, even in your breed, sure, you have ebbs and flows in quality. But to answer that question quickly, my original breed, Gordon Setters. I think that breed is in great shape.
That's amazing.
As compared to maybe, you know, time flies. When I say 5 years ago, please nobody put a calendar on it and see what dog was out 5 years ago.
Right.
Oh, he didn't like mine. But, you know, in the last 5 to 10 years, I think that as a whole, and when I say they're better, I don't mean that like the best one of a past era couldn't compete with the best one of this era. What I'm saying is the quantity of quality. You know, there's more good ones. There's always good dogs in most every breed, but I think that in Gordon Setters you have choices, and there's several good dogs. And Pointers is another breed that I think there's a depth of quality that is, and that's a breed that sometimes you didn't see multiple good. And there's more, but you know.
Right. So now you are kind of a free spirit, and you're thinking about your judge's license, and you've got, you know, a sport that you've been part of for 40 years. I don't know if you had the opportunity to read Tom's editorial this last time, but
of course,
was suggesting that perhaps at our larger, more prestigious dog shows, such as the AKC National Championship, that we contemplate a multiple dog panel. as opposed to.
I think it's a fabulous idea. I think that logistically, I have no experience, but I know that it's done in other venues where horses or cattle or other things where you have a panel of judges judging something. For goodness sakes, the Olympics,
Right.
Figure skating,
Right. Right.
American judge never going to give the Russian number one, but anyway,
but,
like he spoke,
yeah.
you throw out the high, you throw out the low. I think that has a lot of potential. I think there's other areas of the sport that can be done in a way in which to improve it. I've always been a proponent and talked to people that know me well about, I say it's the only sport or anything I've ever been involved with that doesn't have a defined season.
Mhm.
Okay, so what's the downside to other parts of the world have championship shows and non-championship shows, and I'm all in for the competition and the rankings. I think that's great. I think that drives the sport. I think competition is exciting. I think owners and breeders love that. It's just obvious that's what drives a lot of it. But I think there may be a way to change things that could possibly improve it. And I'm 100% behind, especially these larger events, a panel of judges to do your big group shows or your big national championship or whatever.
Because when I read that, of course, the first thing I thought of was, a lot of people love these top 20.
Right.
And forgive me to those who are big supporters of the top 20, but the issue that I have with the top 20 is I don't like to see a dog chopped in pieces. We have encouraged our judges to look at the whole package, and I am all about looking at the whole package.
If you're not careful, and I've judged several top 20s in different breeds, if you're not careful, it is an opportunity to fault judge and not look at attributes. Talking about top 20s, the one thing that I think some clubs, and I'm not being judgmental, but something that could be improved is I think it's important for the judging panel to their initial look is at the class. I don't think it's because if you look at the class, you can evaluate what you have in front of you instead of starting with, like I've been in this position, starting on the first dog that comes in.
You don't want to score it high because it's the first dog.
You're thinking, oh my God, if they get better from here, what am I going to do? I'm running out of numbers.
Right.
So I just think that, especially like the general appearance portion of a lot of those events, I think should be done as a group.
That's a really good idea. And what I was thinking was, so we've now talked about perhaps having multi-dog judge panels for these big dog shows. I think that a multi-judge panel for a national is also something.
Yeah, I think there's events that would eliminate the perception of a lot of negative things that come with the sport. And I'd like to touch on that just real quick. That does bring something up. In the sport of dogs, we've all been at that specialty or that best in show where we think, oh, well, that's what's going to happen, or that person's going to put that dog up. And I look at it from the other side. And there's been big events, that have been won by people, and those results have been critiqued by, well, we knew that was going to happen. They were going to put that dog up. And I like to say this to those people that look at the negative side of it. Is it preference or is it favoritism? For me, and I have no problem saying this, when I become a judge, if someone brings me, successful dogs, a German Whitehair Pointer, okay, and if that dog is shown like I showed them, is trimmed like I trimmed them, looks like the ones that I've shown, should I penalize the dog because it's shown by somebody that used to work for me or somebody I co-bred with 10 years before, or no?
Right.
No. Why wouldn't these people, or why wouldn't I like the dog that looks just like what I loved and presented myself?
Right.
So I think it's easy to look at the negative, but I think one would, it's also healthy to try and look at the positive. And I tell people when we get in this conversation, there was nothing, had I been afforded the opportunity, and you'll know this, nothing I would have loved more than to walk into a Best in Show or group ring with an Irish setter to show Tom Glass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's was my
Now you're
mentor
gonna
in the
make me
breed.
cry.
Right, that's my mentor in the breed. You know what I'm saying? And I knew how he liked them trimmed, and I knew what he didn't like about certain dogs. So to penalize somebody because you know them or you had an experience with them because of what others might think, I think that is just drastically wrong.
Right. I mean, you know, predictability is not always a bad thing.
Right.
It really
right. And just conversely,
Mhm.
why would a judge? I'm more skeptical or confused by the judge that we watch or the person that we watch sweepstakes, whatever. Someone we watch judging a class of dogs, and they end up coming up with something that doesn't look anything like they bred or exhibited or in the past. So I'm as skeptical as that as I am the other way.
Right.
Maybe even more.
Exactly. Right.
Maybe more.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, someday we're going to see this man standing center ring, and please join me in just going over and just giving him just all kinds of grief because it's fun.
I'll deserve it, I'm
and
sure.
he's a good sport about it, so we can all have a little bit of fun with it. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having
See
me.
you soon.